After awakening, a young boy implores his mother to divorce his stepfather right away, leaving the woman bewildered. However, her confusion dissipates as the boy discloses a startling revelation. Christine was a single mother to her 9-year-old son, Brian. Her husband, Peter, had cheated on her with her sister Amanda and relocated to another state. Losing Peter to her sister was a major blow for Christine, but she knew she didn't have time to cry. Brian was more important to her, and she decided to focus on him rather than crying over her past. Thankfully, following the divorce, she gained custody of Brian and half of Peter's property as a fair settlement. She started her life over with her son, looking on the bright side of things until something unexpected happened one day. Amanda returned to Christine and begged forgiveness. She claimed Peter had dumped her for a younger woman. "I'm sorry for what I did, Christine. Please forgive me. I have nowhere to go," she cried. 3 years had gone since Amanda's betrayal, and Christine had moved on with her life. Not to mention, she had a huge heart, so she forgave Amanda, who moved in with them. 2 days after this, Christine attended a business convention in a town where she met Mike. Something clicked between them pretty quickly, and Christine knew she was in love. For the months that followed, Christine and Mike began spending more time together and going on dates. Mike was handsome and charming, and he had a good job. Christine realized he was the one for her and finally introduced him to Brian. To her surprise, Mike got along with Brian in no time. Their weekend baseball games and trips to movies became a ritual, and Brian liked Mike so much that one day he suggested to Christine that she marry him. "Mom, can I please have Mike as my dad? I love him. He's so cool," Brian told his mother while they were dining with Mike at home. Mike laughed and quipped, "Oh no, Brian. That means I'll have to put up with your mother for the rest of my life. That is not a good idea." But then, he paused, "I'd love to be your dad, so I guess I'll simply marry her." Christine blushed at Mike's indirect proposal, and a month later, they tied the knot. Christine was delighted to have a happy family once again. Everything was perfect, she thought. 3 years went by, and Christine got a promotion at work. She began working longer hours and frequently got home late at night. Amanda would be home with Brian, so she wasn't too concerned. But one night, Christine returned home and found Brian unconscious on the floor of his room. "Brian! Mike!" she screamed at the top of her voice. "Get the car. We need to take Brian to the hospital." She carried Brian downstairs, and when Amanda and Mike saw them, they were shocked. "Jesus! Get him in the car. I'll get the keys," Mike cried as he ran to get his coat and car keys.
Also, if you've not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these animal stories every day. Now, back to the story.
Once they were at the hospital, the doctors revealed Brian had a concussion as a result of an injury to the back of his head. They also warned Christine, Mike, and Amanda that Brian may suffer from amnesia and forget everything after gaining consciousness. "Oh my God, how did this even happen?" Christine exclaimed and began to cry when the doctor left. "I wish I was there to stop it, Christine." Amanda said he was jumping about his room even though she told him not to. "He might have tripped over something while we were in the kitchen. He'll be fine, Christine," Mike consoled her. "Don't worry." From that day on, Christine only wanted to see her son awake. It was alright with her if he didn't remember her, but she wanted to see him happy and healthy again. One day, she had to leave town for an important business trip, so she left Brian in Mike's care. "Don't worry, honey," he assured her. "I'll always be by his side." Christine was relieved that Brian was in safe hands. But 2 days into the trip, she surprisingly got a call from Brian, and the only thing he said was, "Mom, I'm calling from a nurse's phone. You need to leave him. You need to leave Mike, Mom. Please." Christine was overjoyed to hear her son's voice and to know that he had regained consciousness, but she couldn't understand why Brian would say such a thing. He loved Mike. "What happened, honey? Please tell me." "Mom, please come here. I'm not safe," he said, then hung up. Christine's heart was sinking as she wondered why Brian said that. She dropped everything and took the first flight home. When she arrived at the hospital, the truth shocked her. It turns out Mike and Amanda had been having an affair for 5 years and were preparing to dupe Christine and seize all of the property she'd gotten from Peter. Unfortunately, Brian overheard them discussing everything one night in the kitchen. When he saw Mike and Amanda were about to leave, he dashed upstairs to his room in a hurry and accidentally slipped and hit his head. When Brian woke up in the hospital, he saw Mike by his bedside. "Hey, champ, it's me, Dad. You recognize me, right?" Brian did, but he pretended not to and waited for Christine to return after calling her on a nurse's phone. Upon learning the truth, Christine was seething with anger. She immediately dialed 911 before storming out of Brian's hospital room. Despite encountering Mike outside, she put on a facade of a smile, but she was resolved not to be fooled again. In due course, law enforcement officials arrived and arrested Mike on charges of fraud. What are you doing?" he yelled as he was handcuffed. Taking a step forward, Christine smacked him across the face. "You are getting what you deserve, Mike." Subsequently, Amanda was taken into custody as well, following Brian's statement to the authorities. Fortunately, Brian made a full recovery and was released from the hospital soon after. He and Christine resumed their previous lives, but with a heightened sense of contentment.